And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Isn't it amazing how quick 6:30 can come back around? It's been a fast 24 hours, hasn't it? We're waking up to some fog in areas and 65 today. And believe me, it's going to be warm as we hit for a high of 79 projected today. That's right at that 80-degree mark. So warm weather forecasted throughout the weekend. Be ready for that. My, oh, my, oh, my. So much coming up today as we'll discuss and get into all the politics and things that are going on across America that affects you. Join us, won't you? Right now, let's go over to Collinsville. Let's get a good message this morning as we go to First Baptist.
Growing up, the nearest Cracker Barrel to where I live was a good 40 minutes away. So whenever we got to go, when my mom went shopping or we were just happened to be close, it was a big ordeal. I mean, those biscuits are unbelievable. Well, we had a little time, so after we ate, we took time to look around the store where all the gifts were. I saw a cool little fountain that poured water into one level, and then that level poured into another level, and so on and so forth. And I'm sure there was some mechanism that pulled the water back to the top. But as I reflect back on that, I learned something that day. Whoever is at the top, or whatever is at the top, whether it's a boss, a pastor, a parent, anyone that's in charge of anything at all, pours into the rest of those around them, whether good or bad. That sentiment is true from the Bible. Here's what Proverbs 29:12 says. If a ruler listens to lies, all his officials will be wicked. That is, to say the least, an interesting thought. What that tells us is that a leader who does not listen to sound advice or truth, or does not stand for truth, will affect and poison the well of all those under and around them. Think about those you have influence on. Children, coworkers, students, whoever. What kind of influence are you having? Is it good or bad? The best question to ask is this: does it point them to Jesus or away from Jesus? May you live a life of truth, integrity, and above all else, love for Jesus. Because remember, change begins in you, and you make a difference.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back as we begin this morning. Hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, as we head toward the weekend, they'll be opening up church services Sunday morning. If it's not that church, pick another one. You never know what you'll bump into, an old friend, and, well, may change your life around. As we look at headlines, and again, I point out that we do have some fog in the area, some light fog, and then further south we go toward the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Highway 90, Interstate 90 there is tons and tons of fog in that area if you're going to be along the coast this morning. Be cautious and be careful as we look at that. Florida sometimes comes up in our conversations of what's going on around America. And I think I just really need to show this picture. Fox News reported of a guy that tried to outrun state troopers. Well, that's not uncommon. That happens even in our area. But how many are wearing a Dalmatian onesie? No, you've seen this around there. I've seen some ladies wearing the onesies. It's like a kid's zip-up suit, but it was a Dalmatian. Let's just show you the picture here from Fox News. That's him. Right there in his cute little onesie. He was given a ride to jail, and they took care of his little itch there to speed. No, I don't think I'm going to wear one of those. Sad news as we go to New York this morning. New York's East River, as a suitcase was found. The unthinkable. Human remains were found inside the suitcase there in New York. They have not been identified at this point in time. You ever been given that chance, that like get out of jail free card? Some will take up on it, some won't. Tom Homan, do y'all recognize that name yet? Has it been said enough as we start talking about what's coming up? He's the new border czar in the United States. He's offering a one-time get out of Dodge type card. He is offering folks who are here illegally to go ahead and leave. And you won't have a bar put against you. What he means by that, if you're deported, then you have a red flag from 5 to 20 years that you would not be able to enter the United States. But if you leave willingly on your own, you won't be charged with that. Now, I don't know how many people will take him up on that offer, but it does sound like a good deal, doesn't it? As we go to our next one, Ohio, our next story that is shaping America this morning. It was at a manufacturing plant. I believe they do cosmetics is what they do there. 1 killed, 5 hurt as an employee took to violence within the workplace. He's been arrested. No word yet as to why he did that. That's a common occurrence in the United States, and we know that. An Amber Alert has been also listed. Let me see where this is from as we look. Wisconsin, a teen. Now, bothers me. 16 years old. She's been sought after. She is with a 40-year-old man who is most likely the father of a child that she's carrying. 40. She's 16. We do hope that he's caught. A police officer, boy, this is good news. It's about time we run up on something that is really good news. New Jersey is where we go next. A police officer being hailed as a hero. A child, 11-year-old child, fell through the ice on a lake. He was able to get out. They tied a rope to him. He got there, and he was able to pull her out and get her back to safety. That's great. Water rescue there. That could have ended up so differently. We do need those. And here's one of those things in the news this morning that has made full circle. Now, I admit I don't know a lot about Christian music these days. It's more popular than a lot of people realize. A few years ago, there was a Christian singer that was in New Orleans. This was during the COVID years. Do you remember when churches were being picked on? Y'all remember that? Where they didn't want them to have church services on Sunday or anybody come, and there was a lot of protests. We even saw some church members and pastors arrested. Well, somewhere on the street corner, a Christian singer was traveling along her bicycle, and it was a church that was holding a forum, well, more or less saying they didn't believe it, and she stopped, and she sang at it. The New Orleans mayor demanded that she be removed she was going to be on the Dick Clark's countdown that year. The mayor of New Orleans demanded that she be taken off. I don't think it happened. It's been 5 years ago. Boy, you want to talk about a full circle thing here. She's going to be performing at the Super Bowl this weekend. Her name is Lauren Daigle, if I pronounce that right. Daigle. That's pretty good, isn't it? We wish her well, and, well, the mayor can, forget it of New Orleans. The mayor at the time, if I'm getting this right, was LaToya Cantrell. There was a lot of wrongdoings done back in those COVID days of trying to arrest church members. I remember raids. Do y'all know what else is up? December, right after the election, it was nearly 350 people a day. The U.S. Army releasing numbers now. 350 people signing up, the largest recruitment we've had in 15 years of people signing up to take the oath of office to protect the United States. Sounds like there's a little faith back in our country, doesn't it? That does. That's good news. Here's something else that we're seeing now, that raid that probably should have never happened. Well, I'll go ahead and say it. It shouldn't have happened. Mar-a-Lago. Y'all know that? Y'all remember that? Where they raided the president's residency? Went through the first lady's underwear drawer. No, they did that. The president is supposed to get back all of his personal belongings that were taken that day. I didn't know it was an autographed picture of Celine Dion that they also took. Why would they want to take a picture of Celine Dion? I don't get the connection as to why they would want that. It's good that he's getting those out, that whole thing. And as we get into this, we're going to talk more about this. I know y'all have heard this USAID. Y'all remember all that? And it's also now coming out that there are ties to forms of government back to the Democratic Party. And again, it's in the early stages of this to where they funded newspapers which were used for impeachment process on Trump. They were paying a newspaper, and then the newspaper articles were used to go against Trump to have him taken out of office. Bill Gates has been on the platform rallying for them. Did y'all see this in court? And it's wrong, but there's one part of you that also understands why somebody would do this. Let's say a loved one of yours was brutally murdered. It's on trial, and the man stands there. One of the family members took all they could, and they, in an attempt to whoop up on him, jumped over the court railing and went up after him. He's been arrested, too. You can't do that. Do you have compassion for someone that is filled with over-emotion during something like that? You do. It was in New Mexico where that happened. He was attacked by the uncle, is who he was. He'll face a judge now for what he done. You can't do that. We live in a civilized nation, but you do from time to time understand when things like that get the best of you there. U.S. Employees, as we look at this of what's coming up, there's a lot of them fearing that departure, mass firings are on the horizon for a lot of government agencies that they're shutting down. A lot will come this week. We talked about that. Let's see what else we've got going on this morning. I don't get this. This happened some years ago. This was a teacher back in 2011. They ruled her death as suicide. And it's been so long, I honestly don't remember it. But how can you rule something suicide when someone has 20 stab wounds? They're saying they made a mistake and they're reopening the investigation now. Not rocket science. I mean, really, 20? It was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where that happened. Her name was Ellen Greenberg. We'll see what becomes of the new investigations that comes about. Really? 20? That's hard to believe. I don't quite understand it. And boy, they sure are picking on Kristi Noem as we have Homeland Security. First, they picked on her for wearing a cowboy hat. And she took up. Did y'all see that where she went and you remember the guys and it was all fake? Do you remember the Rangers at the border that were, they had people that had crossed illegally into the United States, and one of the reins, a picture was snapped and it was in the air, and they accused the Ranger of whipping a person that was trying to get into the United States with it, and he wasn't. She went and rode with the same guys that were accused of all of that. Their lives were hecked due to the media making false narratives. And they're also picking on her. Here's the two pictures. This is Fox News. There she is featured in her cowboy hat. Now they also want to pick on her over wearing a bulletproof vest. Why? They realize she's doing a good job is what it all amounts to. If you're getting picked on, there's a reason you're making a difference. We see that this is sad news as we see this morning. As we go to North Las Vegas, a police officer lost his life this week. He's going to be given a hero's funeral. They had descended on a house and he was shot in the line of duty. We also see that a canine was shot this week. The person that done that will also be charged. Awful, awful. 4-year-old pup there. His name, what was his name? His name was Preacher. He was a dog in Maine. He was killed in the line of duty protecting others. Mitch McConnell, did we talk about this week? If you'll remember, he fell right after voting this week. He's now being seen in the Senate in a wheelchair. We wish Mitch well. Y'all have seen these several episodes of medical malfunctions. Marco Rubio, we all know him. He's refusing to go visit South Africa for the G20 summit. He accuses their government of doing very bad things and will not attend it. He's stepping up. We'll see if that works out for him also there. We have 2 people that have been arrested for impersonating ICE agents. They did. They were college students. I don't know what the charge is on that, but it's not good for them. Now, we saw, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, where Trump's administration asked for all the names of the agents that were involved in the J6 inquiry. Y'all remember all that? They are saying those who followed orders that were given to them will not be fired. There's a lot of scaredness over this. But those who were given orders and done what they were supposed to do will not be fired. I think they're after the administrators that orchestrated things. We'll see. Let's see here. A lot of DEI news going on there. And this was a big thing. Do y'all remember this, where the pro athletes' homes were being robbed while they were playing games? 3 men have been indicted from Ohio dealing with all of this. One of the football players, and it also goes back to a pawn shop. They had $5 million worth of property in it. My, oh, my, oh, my. They were part of this, of selling off this stuff. They would get it and they would transfer it to them and sell. Brooklyn, New York is where the merchandise would travel to and back. from wherever they stole it from. That's a few of the headlines shaping America this morning. Something, isn't it? Good morning, Robin. Good to see you. Rick is up joining us. Kay, thank you. My wife got me that a few years ago. I don't wear it as much as I probably should. Does anybody else like me where you just really are not good? Every shirt that I buy is plain color. I don't know how to buy stuff that have different colors in them. I don't have an eye for it. We'll be right back as we'll get into your forecast next here at the Scotty Ray Report. Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our record highs and record lows. It was 2019 we had a warm day. It was 80, and we're going to be very, very close to that today. Projected to be 79. Could possibly go over that. You never know. Back in 88, we were at a record low of 17 degrees. Yeah, that was a long time ago, wasn't it, before you say it. As we look across this 79 today, we'll see that through Philadelphia and hold steady all the way to Columbus Air Force Base at 77, down through Greenwood, through the Delta, down to Natchez, steady 78, 79, somewhere along in there. We'll see 80 at least in Hattiesburg. As we move across that Bama state line, almost the same weather as we've got in Mississippi, at least on the western side there, 78, 79 in the areas. A little cooler as you get into northern Alabama, into Birmingham areas, 74, 73 can be seen there in Hamilton as we go across this. And again, fog is possible. The Meridian area is still holding steady at could be a 2 area, not picking up on radar yet, but down on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We do see it in those low-lying areas. Be careful there. This will carry through about 10 a.m. this morning. As we see the forecast for the next few days, the temperatures still warm in Mississippi. It'll be average, and we see some average weather there. To the extreme north in the Dakotas, we see some colder weather, but not in the south, do we? As we see our 7-day forecast, here it is, anywhere from 77, and they've upped this since 3 a.m. when I first got here. They've changed it to add 79 now, projected 2 degrees warmer. 80 will end the day tomorrow. We'll see 80 on Saturday as well with 0% chance of rain. You'll be able to do a lot of things outside on Saturday. If you've got an event, it's going to be perfect for it. As we look to Sunday, 76, slight chance of rain, and by Tuesday and Wednesday, rain is in the forecast with a 60 and 50% chance of showers there for Tuesday and Wednesdays, but high still in the 70s. As we move into the 13th, we'll see about 63, and then we're back to the 70-degree weather, ranging from anywhere in the mid-60s to 70s all the way through February 20th. Really looking like February is not going to be a cold month at all so far. We'll see what that last week holds for us there as we head all the way through the 20th. As we look at our best times to fish today, here it is. Now, what's going to happen is going to be very windy. Makes it tough to be out there as your line can catch that backlash. 20-mile-an-hour gusts will have sustained winds anywhere from 5 to 15. Major fishing times today began at 6 o'clock, be good through about 8 a.m. this morning if you're already out. As we look for your next time, it's after dark, but we'll have some minor times beginning at 11 till lunchtime. That 11 to 12 hour is kind of good there. Sunrise happened at 6:44 a little bit ago. Now we're getting ready for sunset this afternoon at 5:33 as it pushes a little further each day into the evening hours. Won't y'all be glad when we eventually get this taken care of and we have long days in one time? I would. Chuck, good morning there. Someone asked did I attend the Kentucky ham meal. Yes, I did. We'll talk about that this morning. It was definitely good food there. That's Montana woke up to 4 inches of flurs this morning. Woo, Kevin, that's deep up there. Montana's beautiful country, but Man, I feel for you this time of year. A lot of snowfalls there, 4 inches there. Enjoy it if you can. I guess you get used to that after a while. Let's look at radar this morning as we pull this up. This is what's happening in the Mississippi area. We got, as I mentioned there, 90 as you go due south to the Mississippi Gulf Coast down around Biloxi. We got serious fog from Gulfport to Biloxi there if you're going to be traveling Interstate 10, 90, any of those areas. Highway 67 and 49 that takes you right into Gulfport. Plenty of fog there, and this goes into the Bama side there. And again, we do have fog advisories out till 10 a.m. in these areas. They've dropped it for the Meridian area. It was still in effect this morning. They've dropped that since then. We move over to Macon, Georgia, and show that we got a lot of fog there as well as we back out. Thunderstorms rolling through Kentucky this morning. If you're going to be in those areas, and moving over to Charleston, West Virginia, look at that. Now, we start picking up snow as we move into the State College area, York, Pittsburgh area there. I'll be careful up in there. It's cold. Syracuse, New York. As we move back and look across the rest of the United States, look at that. A little bit up in this area as well there. -3 in Van Norman, Montana. So glad I'm sitting in Mississippi with 80-degree weather predicted today. A few showers out near San Francisco there off the coast there as we see Oklahoma City also has a little bit of fog. That gives you a general idea of what's happening across the U.S. of A. as you're waking up this morning. It's going to be a big day. We've got Donna Jill Johnson as our special guest this morning. She's here to confess. I don't know what. Odie's got a lie detector test hooked to her over there. She's got her arm in there. I see all this going on over there, y'all. Y'all join us at 7. It's going to be a great show. She's here to talk about a big fundraiser that's going to happen in Meridian. Of course, we got to ask her other question, what she's been doing, how she's doing. You'll enjoy the show, and we'll go over what's going on in our community. We had a fugitive amongst us. Oh, wait, he's still amongst us. We'll tell you all about that coming up at 7 o'clock. That's on the way. Won't you join us? Come back. We'll go live in just a few moments for the big show beginning at 7. We'll see you then.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.